wonderful week. I am back this week to talk to you about the Tilly and the Buttons Stevie pattern. You've probably seen this. The new Stevie pattern that was released at the end of June. It's been really popular, one of the most popular patterns that we've had in the shop. And I thought I would do a little review for you, and I thought I would do a couple of different versions. So I've done 3 different versions with 3 different types of fabric so that you can see the difference that the fabric choice has, and I thought I would also talk to you about the modifications that I've made to the pattern as well. So before I do that, I would really love it if you could hit the subscribe button down below. If you could subscribe to the channel, that would be wonderful. It really helps me, and it'd be really appreciated. So yeah, please subscribe. Okay, so the pattern was released at the end of June, so it's not new, it's a couple of months old, and as I say, it has been really popular. It has, this is described as with no darts or zips or set-in sleeves. Stevie is a satisfyingly quick and easy make. Stevie has a modern boxy fit with round neckline and kimono sleeves, closing at the back with pretty ties or button loop. Make it as a top with cropped hemline that hits high on the hip, or above the knee tunic dress with optional turn-up cuffs and patch pocket. Throw it on with a statement necklace and you're good to go. So I knew this was going to be popular as soon as it was released because one, Tilly just has a knack of making very popular patterns, but 2, the kind of boxy, cocoon, loose fit style is becoming more and more popular, and I think at the moment there's a real trend towards things that are quite loose fitting, and also it's nice and simple, so I knew it would appeal to beginners, and it really is perfect for beginners, but also those of us who've been sewing for longer but really like, you know, having a quick simple make. Not everything has to take us 4 days to sew. So you can see the line drawings there, so you've got really simple dress versions, top versions. You've got a separate yoke on the back, which is in 2 pieces, and then you've got this neck closure at the back with either a simple fastening and a button, sorry, a simple loop and button, or a necktie. It comes in sizes UK 6 to UK 20, which is a bust of 30 inches to 44 inches and a hip of 33 inches to 47 inches, and you can see there's a couple of different versions on the pattern there as well. As ever, Tilly's instructions are brilliant, so you get your whole instruction book with it, and it's fully photographed, really lovely pictures. You can see they make it really easy for you. I don't tend to use the instructions on many patterns now because, on many patterns at this level I should say, because I've pretty much got the construction of most dresses and things down, or I'll do it my own way. However, I always find it helpful just to have a quick look through before I start and make sure there isn't some glaringly obvious difference that I'm going to miss if I whiz through. But this is really simple, really straightforward, and as ever with Tilly's instructions, she gives you a whole sort of set of jogging busting tips. She also gives you, you know, real instructions on how to do simple but important things like stay stitching and understitching and all those things that just make or don't take too much time but actually make a big difference to your garment. And then there's also a picture on the back there of a top version, which I think looks like it's made in a slightly drapier fabric, so probably more of a rayon. All in all, a really well put together pattern. Went together really easily. All the versions that I've made went together really quickly. The dress versions, I can't remember how long it took me to do the top, but obviously less time than the dress, and the dress versions I cut and sewed up in about 2 hours, so really quick. The only parts that obviously take a little bit longer are adding your facing in at the neck and then top stitching it down, and then if you want to add cuffs on and your, so it's my arm always squeaks on this table. And then the ties at the back, but again, still only a couple of hours, so it's a really, really good project if you just want something quick and simple, or if you're a beginner you can take a little bit longer over it, but there isn't really very much to hopefully find too tricky. So when it first came out, I made a version in a cotton poplin, which was the top, so I did that as a wearable toile out of a fabric that we don't actually stock. In fact, I bought it when we did a show. It was like a fashion, I can't remember what they called it. What was it called? Oh, it was like a swap. Restash Destash, that was it. Restash Destash, which was a charity event. And there were a few business sellers of fabric there, and also people that were selling off their own personal stashes, and the lady behind me was selling off her personal stash, and she had some swimmer's fabric which I absolutely loved, and I bought it. So I own my own fabric shop, and I'm not immune to adding to my personal fabric stash, even from buying from other people. But I wanted to make a really quick, simple, wearable toile, so I made the top version in the cotton poplin, as I say. So poplin is quite a lightweight cotton, it's a little bit heavier than a lawn, really, really easy to work with, really nice to work with, presses perfectly, does as it's told under the machine. Now helpfully I have left that version in the shop because I've got it as a shop sample, so I'm going to pop in some video of me wearing it here, or to cover the screen. So as you'll be able to see, I've made this version without any pattern modifications. So it's the top, and it comes up quite high on the hip as it says on the pattern. It's quite short for me. I would probably have added on another inch. So I finished the hem with bias binding just to keep a little bit more of the length. I also found that the neck came up, for my personal style, quite high on this original version, but it does still have a nice flattering round neck, and then as you can see at the back you've got that nice simple open back, so there's no need for any zips or fastenings, and you've got the two ties there. So this was a really simple version, and it was so quick to cut out and sew. So I think cotton lawn and cotton poplin are perfect for this pattern. One, because it's a really nice fabric, they're really nice fabrics to work with. As I say, especially good if you're a beginner and you just want your fabric to behave so that you don't have to concentrate on wrestling your fabric as well as learning to sew and sew up your pattern. Also the fabric that I use for my top has enough weight to give it some shape but isn't too heavy, so it's got a little bit of movement but isn't too heavy or too structured. You don't want any sort of heavyweight cottons, canvases, anything like that. Cotton lawn or cotton poplin would be lovely. So hopefully seeing the top gives you a good idea of what it looked like out of the packet without any modifications, and there are a couple of sort of suggested fabrics that I've got if you're looking for a lighter weight cotton version for summer, or to wear maybe under cardigans and things in winter. So I'm going to talk you through those now. So this is a medium weight cotton. This is a geometric candy, and I just love those really cute geometric prints and the light pink background. I think it's quite similar to the pink version on the pattern, but you can see it's similar to the confetti teal that I've used in that it is a medium weight, so it does have quite a bit of structure. Staying with the medium weight cottons, I think this is just beautiful. This is our Hummingbird Romance cotton, and you can see it's got that black base, so it's really nice to kind of make it a little bit more dressy, and you've also got these metallic details on here. This is just such a beautiful fabric, and again it's got some structure but it's nice and soft. so it would work really well as the Stevie. So the other option when you're looking at cottons for the Stevie pattern is to look at a cotton lawn, which has got, you can see there, quite a bit more drape. It's a little bit lighter, a little bit softer, and would just drape a little bit more than the more structured cottons that we've talked about. This is our Ochre Violet lawn, and I think this is just perfect because it's got a really big bold print that the Stevie would show off really nicely. So after making my top version, I really liked it, but I knew there were a few modifications I was going to want to make before I made a dress version for myself. So I'm wearing the dress version that I've made now, and I'm going to stand up so you can see the print on the fabric. This is our Confetti Teal cotton. It has, I'll stand back a little bit just so you can see, it has these really cute little pink dots in this turquoise colour, very on brand. It is a medium weight cotton, so heavier than a poplin, more similar to a quilting weight cotton. I'm just going to stand back, and in fact this weight is probably more similar to the weight of the cotton on the pattern envelope, because we had this fabric in earlier in the year or last year in a slightly different colourway, and it was similar weight to this. So again, you get a more sort of structured look. I'm going to stand back. I haven't got any tights or anything on, even though it's now freezing. I've got my flip-flops on so you can get a good idea. So I added 2 inches onto the length for the dress because I knew that the top came up quite short, and I also know that Tilly's patterns tend to come up quite short on me. However, I have then done, I think you can probably see, quite a wide hem. So I've done a double folded hem that is a good 1.5 inches, so 3 inches in total. So I probably only needed to add on 1 inch or so onto the length. Once I'd first made it up, because of this fabric, I'll stand back a bit more so you can see my face. Actually, you don't need to see my face. Because this fabric has quite a bit of structure, because although it is a soft... I'm going to try and climb over my chair there. Although it is a softer cotton than some, it is as I say, a medium weight cotton, so it does have more structure to it. And it was very baggy at the back because of the boxy style shape, which for me, I have a 13.5 inch difference between my waist measurement and my full hip measurement. So I've got a much smaller waist, and I find that if I have unstructured garments that I'm wearing, I do tend to get a lot of blousing at the back and the front, which is something I'm used to, and I don't necessarily mind that. Don't necessarily mind that too much. Excuse me, but for this version, I thought I would change it. So I've graded in at least, I think it was about 2 sizes. I took a good inch off of each side, so you can see it curves in a lot more at the waist here, whereas the pattern piece is actually quite straight. And then I still had quite a lot, let me just move that out of the way, quite a lot of excess fabric there. So what I've done is I've put 2 darts in at the back. I'm hoping you can see that. I'll show you when I take this off, just to give it a bit of shaping and just to pull it in at the waist a little bit more, so it's got much more shape. Step back again. So yeah, it's got much more of a defined shape at the waist, but it's still quite loose. It's not sort of what I would class as being really fitted. And obviously I've kept the neckties and opening at the back because I think that looks really cute. And the other alteration I made, and you might be able to tell already because it looks different to my top version, is I scooped out the neck a bit more. So because I've got a full bust, I find that it's more flattering for me if I've got a slightly lower neck. That was a really easy modification to do. I think I've probably taken off about 1 inch and just scooped it out a little bit, and then I just redrew the facing piece so that it matched up, and stitched that on. I also, with all of the with the hem and the top stitching on the facing, I used a contrasting pink thread, which I'm not sure if you can see, but I thought that just made it stand out and just added a little bit more detail, and because of that deep hem as well. I can show you there. I think I'll be able to show you. And on the top stitching on the arms as well. So it doesn't say to top stitch the cuff down, but I hate it when you've got cuffs that flip up and down, so I always top stitch them down. So I prefer the dress version, this dress version, to the top version because you've got a bit more of a rounder neck and I've got a bit more shape in it. That being said, I think this would work really nicely in denims or other kind of medium weight cottons that you could either wear through the summer or take through to the winter and pair with tights and boots. I love the colours of this fabric. I love the shape of it. I think for me, my third version is actually my favourite, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But I do really like this, and I am going to take it away on holiday. It's really easy to wear, you just chuck it on over your head. I've seen some really nice versions online where you can use ribbon instead of the self ties out the same fabric, which is what I've done on all my versions, but you could use a really cute contrasting ribbon. And there's also a version in the pattern where Tilly shows you how to do a button and a rouleau loop, and there's even a tip which is so genius about using a hairband instead of a rouleau loop if you don't want to make one. So yeah, really, really good. Okay, so with my third version, I have made it out of a completely different fabric, and I've gone for a completely different look because I wanted to see, one, how it would look in the different fabric type, and two, whether it could take me through more kind of autumn winter, whether I could make it a bit more dressy looking. So hold that thought and I will be back. Okay, before I show you too much of my third and favourite version, I thought I would just quickly show you on here. This is the inside of my second version, and you can see there the sort of fisheye darts that I've put in. So there is about an inch in total in one of those, and then I've just tapered it at the top, tapered it at the bottom, and there's about an inch there, and I've put those in the middle, the back, so that they're quite evenly spaced, and that's just how I gave it a little bit more shaping. So, ta-da! This is my third and most definitely favourite version. I thought I would see if I could kind of dress the pattern up a little bit, make it a bit more evening, a bit more cool, and I think the great thing about this pattern, one of the great things about this pattern, is that because there's no darts and it's a nice simple shape, you can really show off your fabrics. So I am wearing, if you've been following me for a while, you'll know we've had this print in the shop quite a few times over the last 6-9 months or so. We've had it on all different bases, but it's our Cobra Corsage print, and this is the Viscose base. So this is the Viscose Crepe, and if you look, I will zoom in, hopefully you can see, it's got this slight texture to the viscose, gives it a bit of a crepey finish. It is really lightweight, drapey, it's got really nice movement to it, and the print comes up really vibrantly. I made a dress, the Sew Over Eve dress, for my 30th birthday out of this last year, but I used the cotton lawn and it was lovely. I really, really loved it. I'll pop a quick picture up here, but the print on the viscose is even bolder. We've also since had it in on the scuba, and we've also got it on a viscose jersey, which I think I showed in last week's video with some of our other fabric suggestions on my fabric favourites, which I will pop up here if you want to have a watch of that. But yeah, I'm going to stand up so you can see what a difference the fabric makes. So because it is viscose, it is a lot more drapey, it's got a lot more movement to it. I've paired this with tights, and because I knew it was going to be more of a kind of going out slash autumn winter dress. I have kept it at the shorter length because I tend to not really like my thighs very much, so if I am going to make something that is shorter, that's normally what I do when I'm wearing it with tights, whereas if I know in the summer I will make it a little bit longer so it comes just above the knee. Obviously I've got that same scooped out neckline, and I've kept everything else the same. This time I haven't taken it in at the sides, and I haven't added any darts at the back because the movement in the fabric is enough, so you don't really need to. Sorry, I've sat on it in an awkward way. There we go. The movement in the fabric is enough, so you really don't need to take it in at the sides. You can just have that really nice loose flowing feeling, which is perfect if you want to go and eat a nice big dinner out or dance around in it. Yeah, I really love this. So I hope you found that useful. Obviously there's 3 different versions there. I'm going to show you a couple of other suggestions for fabrics like this. My personal feeling about this pattern is in the summer it will work really well in cottons. You could also pair those cottons with tights if you wanted to, but personally for me, because of the boxy shape, I feel like unless I'm going to make those pattern modifications that I've talked about, it works much better in a more drapey fabric like a viscose, a rayon or a crepe. I'm going to show you now a couple of my top picks that we've got in the shop at the moment, which I think would work really well to make a slightly dressier or drapier version. So for drapier fabrics, which I think look amazing for Stevie, I've got a couple of my favourites for you. So this is a rayon, or a viscose, sorry, and it is called Pretty Peonies, and it has got these beautiful birds on there, the lovely peonies and floral print in a really vivid pink and orangey kind of tone on a navy background. Really soft, really drapey. I think that would look stunning, and you could really dress that print up or down as well. So yeah, really love that one. Now this is something really special. This is 100% silk. It's called Midnight Orchid, and it has got these really bold pink and grey abstract floral design on a black background, and it is so soft, as you would expect from silk. It feels amazing. It would be lovely to wear, and of course it's got that gorgeous movement to it too, so that would be perfect for a really dressed up evening, a loose fitting, just really stunning Stevie. I think that would be amazing. And it's a really good way to test your or to advance your skills with a drapey fabric working with such a simple pattern, and I think Stevie's really good for that. So my final pick for Stevie is this gorgeous peach skin. It's called Dusky Diamonds, and it has got this lovely dusky pink background with varying tones in the little geometric print there. Obviously nowhere near as expensive as the silk, but it still does have a lovely sheen to it. It's not shiny, and it's completely opaque as well, and again this would make for a really nice Stevie that you could dress up or down. And I just think the geometric print is really nice, and because of all the different colours you could match it with quite a few different things. So on the pattern, the fabric suggestions are medium weight woven fabrics such as linen, double gauze, chambray, cotton lawn, viscose or rayon, which are all things that I've talked about today, and I think work really well. I think also if you were a more confident beginner and you wanted to kind of move towards sewing drapier fabrics, this would be a brilliant pattern to take that next step up, because it's so simple, so you could kind of concentrate on working with the slightly slippier fabrics. This fabric, although it is a viscose, because it's got that crepey texture, isn't as difficult to work with as some, because it kind of grips to itself. But Tilly does say here, if you're confident, you could try a sandwash silk or a crepe de chine, and I think that would be amazing. I think it would look really, you know, classic, beautiful, loose-fitting shape, but in a really gorgeous, sexy fabric. I think that would be really, really gorgeous. So yeah, trying it in all the different fabrics has been really helpful, because it's basically completely a different dress or top each time you change up your fabric type. So I hope you found that useful. I would love to do some more of these kind of reviews, so if you have found it useful, let me know in the comments down below. I wanted to ask for your help just quickly before I go. So those of you that have been following for a while will know that Satisfaction launched in April last year, and we opened our bricks and mortar shop in August last year, so we are between 18 months and a year old, and we have had some amazing news. We've been nominated for a British Sewing Award at the British Sewing Awards, which is run by Sew magazine, and we've been nominated for the best independent retailer in the south of England, which is an unbelievable honour. So the nominations opened a couple of months ago, everybody voted, and then they were shortlisted down to 5, and we are one of those. I cannot tell you how over the moon I was to see that we'd been shortlisted and how much that means to me. It's incredible, especially because it's voted for by people like yourselves, so it's not chosen by people at the magazine, it is all voted for. And yeah, it would mean a huge amount to me if you would go and vote for us as best independent retailer in the south of England. I'm going to, sorry, that fell on the table. I'm going to pop the link down below, and you can click on that. You can choose just to vote in one category, so vote for Satisfaction as the best independent retailer in the south of England, or you can vote in all of them, entirely up to you. And you can also, when you enter, you're entered into a draw to win a load of sewing goodies with a value of, I think, £1,700, which is amazing. So if you wouldn't mind taking 2 minutes to click the link down below, take you through to a survey, and you just need to vote for us in the South of England category, that would be amazing, and it will make my whole year if we win. I'll still be really pleased, obviously, to have come this far, to even get nominated and shortlisted down after only having had the shop for a year, but if we could win, that would be incredible. So I'm really grateful if you could take 2 minutes to do that for me. Anyway, I hope you found that useful. I hope you've enjoyed seeing some of the fabrics and the suggestions and the different things that you can do with the pattern. Overall, I absolutely love it. I think it's really simple, really easy to make, really easy to wear. You can, as you've seen, do lots of different things with it. And yeah, let me know in the comments below what you've thought about the pattern. If you've tried it, let me know your thoughts, and if you would like to see me do any other reviews of this kind where I'm making up the same pattern in a couple of different fabric types, then let me know, and also let me know which patterns you think I should do that for. Have a really great week, guys. I will see you again next week, and make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. Take care, bye!